the PGA Tour and our headline story. Keegan Bradley, surprising earlier in the week, announced as the 2025 Ryder Cup captain. I would say that the majority of the masses were pleasantly surprised, but definitely surprised. I can't say I saw that one coming at all, given previous picks, given our last debacle at the Ryder Cup with Zach Johnson. We've talked heavily about that and how bad that was leading into it. We even talked about it in real time, the snub of Keegan Bradley, who was actually having a pretty dang good season a couple of years
Right.
ago and did not make the team. So, what did you think about the pick when that came out?
To me, it kind of just turns into a I'm sorry moment. Like, I'm sorry you weren't on the team the last time we played. Instead, here, just be the captain. And we all know what's going to come next, or we can all assume what's going to come next. And that's going to be him being a playing captain. So hopefully he has some good juju going next season or leading into next season. And, it'll be justified. And, yeah, but I mean, it's really a home game for him out there on the Northeast
Yeah.
Coast. Went to St. John's, so played the course many a time. So knows Bethpage Black like the back of his hand. He's always said. So definitely know he'll have a lot of home fans there cheering him on. Not necessarily mad at the pick, to be honest, either. I think he'll.
No.
I think he's old enough and been on the tour long enough to still be a motivating factor. He's been on some good teams. He's been in some unfortunate moments. So, I feel like he's had a well-rounded Ryder Cup career to know the ins and outs and be able to form formidable relationships with these guys and, be able to have a winning formula for him next year. So, not necessarily mad about it, but wasn't the name I was thinking, just like you said. It definitely wasn't on my
No.
bingo card, but
I think when they kind of announced that Tiger was not going to take it, that it became kind of a mad dash to figure it out. And of course, hopefully, that they had planned for that in the future alternatives that Tiger wouldn't accept it. So saw
right.
him, get the surprise pick. He even said that he didn't know until he got the call, which is kind of crazy to me, right? So
Yeah.
maybe they had a list that was deeper than that in case he did not accept that as well. You just never know if putting someone in that position. The one thing that I tend to like about it is that Keegan Bradley doesn't seem to be a part of the kind of in group in the PGA Tour, just like the buddy buddy click. He's kind of
Right.
a bit of an outsider, kind of the underdog. Yeah, he's been in Ryder Cups, but again, he's not all in the group, and he's just kind of a to himself type of guy. Seems cool, seems to have good relationships, but again, just not in the clique, which I think is beneficial for everybody. We saw
Right.
the negative
Refreshing
effects of,
regardless.
yeah, absolutely. We saw the negative effects of people being too close to the situation and not being able to separate themselves, bench people that didn't need to be out there, ruffle some feathers where it was needed. And we saw that from before day one of the Ryder Cup actually commencing all the way through, that some
Yeah,
tough decisions that should have been made just were not made. So, Keegan
absolutely.
Bradley, salute to that man. I think this was going to be a winner. The interesting comment was Rory McIlroy at the Genesis Open this week said that he was in shock, and I think, to be honest with you, I think this has the Euros somewhat puzzled and spooked at the same time.
Yeah.
They were able to draw upon Luke Donald last, time around. Again, he's still out there playing. Was he a playing captain? No, but he's still in the game, and he was able to marshal his team to a dominant win. Yes, the U.S. team was mismanaged heavily, but Luke Donald, as a current player, was able to do his thing. So I found Rory's comments to be of concern. I think they're a little bit worried. What do you think about that part of it?
It was just a shock to everybody's system. I mean, really just going against a grain of going against the grain. But
Words.
yeah, words are difficult. I don't know. It's still kind of just trying to formulate in my head right now. I'm still like I honestly was really more hoping that like a Steve Stricker guy, like another dad type would make it, but a likable dad type. I feel like Steve Stricker
Yeah.
or Stuart Sink. were definitely going to be names on my little board that I had. But, you know, Keegan Bradley's a dad too. He's got two little ones and he's got a wife.
Yeah.
He's a family man. So it might still be that case. I just think, I don't know. I just think it would have got a little bit too buddy buddy again if it was Stuart Sink. I think he plays too much. He has a son a little bit, I mean, a little bit younger than most of these guys' age, mid 20s and stuff that's caddied for him again. It's just it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. And
You kind of jumped on it. The that was going to be my next question for you is who would you pick as a coach? Not a coach, yeah, like his,
oh,
co-captains, and you kind of mentioned
hmm
some names in there that I think could fit and still kind of bring that aspect to the team room.
but I think you got to look at a guy like Kisner. I think he'll be a good asset. A real fire starter. I mean, he's gonna be honest, and I think that's what this team needs. I think everybody needs a reality check. I think everybody
Mm-hmm.
needs to realize what the ultimate goal of this is, and that's to win. So if you play one session and it's the solo session, or you play one session other than your solo session, and it's still a winning formula, I think we need to take that into account. We're not going to play favorites here. We're not going to just ride coattails. Whoever's playing the best golf should get the best time and still keep going. And then also, I think people need to be a little bit more mature about it. Even if I'm playing well and I know I'm physically tired, it's time to sit at least one session out. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
playing 4 out of the 5 sessions and going 4-0, because 4-0 is still 4-0 and you got your team 4 points. There's no
Yeah.
need in you playing all 5 sessions just because you're on a heater, but you know that you're hanging on for, dear life, just going off an adrenaline, because that's when mistakes can happen. And that's when you can all fall off. And we all know how mental the game of golf is. So I feel like it's an easy chance for people to really understand how mature they need to be going forward as far as that goes.
100%. Good words on that. Yeah. So we'll see how things shape up. We'll see how the picks go over the next year. How, I don't know, even American players speak up. I haven't seen much from the current crop of guys in this
Mm-hmm.
situation. I think everybody's still in a little bit of shock and trying to figure out where things are going. So there might be some different faces, like you said. Maybe I think like with a Kisner could be a time for an influx of new blood and kind of reshuffling the deck on the American golf side. So I'm all in favor of doing that. Kind of knocking out the old guard and starting new, and not getting our butts kicked every time we go over to Europe. You
Absolutely.
get a lot of stuff out of this channel, y'all. A little business knowledge, a little technical golf knowledge, a little BS in here and there. You're in a well-rounded environment. So, uh,
Absolutely.
hit that subscribe button, hit that membership button. We got you covered on all things golf.